Welcome back, Sam.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
How's it going?
Yeah.
Ah.
All right, we're back with another episode of Hey, What's This? And today I have brought you Dusk Diver. So this
What's
is...
Dusk Diver?
Yeah. All right, yeah, let me tell you. This is sort of a brawler. It's like a brawler with kind of like a small, not exactly open world, but like explorable world. You can kind of think of it as like a little mini representation of a city in, I believe it's Taiwan.
Okay.
They describe it in their press materials as kind of like the Shibuya of Taiwan.
Ooh. I've never been to Shibuya or Taiwan.
Yeah. Well, you've maybe seen Shibuya from famous video game Persona 5 or famous video game 428 Shibuya Scramble.
I'm mostly familiar with Shibuya from famous video game The World Ends With You.
Yeah, fair enough. It's sort of that similar vibe, a very bustling, high fashion, high marketplace.
It makes me think a bit of with all the silhouettes. Makes me think of Tokyo Mirage Sessions.
Yeah. Yeah. I really like the look of this game in general. The character art's pretty good. This game has both Japanese and Chinese voices.
Oh, cool.
I'm playing with the Chinese voice acting, which was a little bit weird because I'm like seeing like this graphical style usually immediately like, you know, signals anime to me. But I've been playing.
Absolutely.
I've been playing this for like a couple hours, and I generally like the Chinese voice acting. Though again,
that's
good. You have the option for the Japanese voice acting as well.
Yeah, I'm like, as much as like with anime, I'm like all in on subs most of the time. I'm like, for games, I'm often playing with the dubs.
Yeah. Same here.
Because I'm like trying to play and read at the same time.
Yeah. It kind of makes it easier for you to like get the, you know, general flavor of the world.
Yeah.
So, stop me if you've heard this before, but beneath the city, or in an alternate dimension to the city, there's an alternate dimension of spirits, and something is going wrong in that alternate dimension that is causing discord in the real world.
Wow. Tell me more.
It seems like a bunch of these people are getting insomnia because of you know, things that are unbalanced in the spiritual realm. So this guy that's coming around with me, Leo, he's kind of like one of those like lion spirits that you might see at like a Chinese temple.
Oh, that's cool.
And he turns into like a little chibi version of himself when we go into battle.
Nice.
Essentially, we were walking around here. I think it's called Ximending is the area. And we accidentally we were walking around with our friend and we accidentally walked into Yoshanding, which is the spiritual version of this area. You know, got attacked by a bunch of monsters. Leo came in, tried to save us, and accidentally transferred all his powers to us.
Nice.
So now
this is a video game.
Yeah, it's a video game. You know, you've seen this plot setup before.
Yeah, I've played a lot of Japanese RPGs and watched a lot of shonen anime.
Yeah, so the setup should be familiar to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, Leo's also kind of like a local here. He's very invested in local people and local families, so he's a little bit worried about the weird things that are going on, and we're gonna see if we can help out some of these locals. So somebody came in here and robbed this lady. So we're gonna investigate what exactly has been happening, and you know, naturally we're gonna have to go into Yoshanding.
异状啊，虽然大概没有关联，但
That's huh? Okay.
望峨眉街
Let's go through this real quick. This might take a little bit. There's also some dragon vein stone shards here. You need dragons, these dragon stones to kind of get into these fissures. That's like one of the weird things I'll get into. It's one of the things I like a little bit less about this game. It's kind of meant to encourage you to go explore the, you know, the city between missions.
Oh yeah.
And
yeah,
the points I am in this game, I've got so many of them, like I just kind of can always go to the mission. But a little bit early in the game, you know, it became like I had to grind down for a little bit, either trying to find them in the world or repeating like old missions to kind of grind them out.
It's hard to find a balance for that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And it feels like a little bit unnecessary in this game.
Yeah. I always find like just like those kind of weird like progress gates really annoying.
Yeah. I've been playing this for a couple hours, so I haven't needed to you know, engage with that too much because I've kind of just been finding them by natural progress. But yeah, the beginning definitely was kind of annoying. So now he wants us to go get some food. This is gonna actually do an event with our animal companion here. That will help us get new skills. But before that, we're gonna put some points into some moves here. There's a couple of interesting systems in the
what does
battle
the luck
system.
do?
I have no idea what luck does. I could tell you what all the other stats do, but I have no idea what the luck does at all.
Because you said this was a beat 'em up, didn't you?
Yeah. I've assumed that it does something about drops, because you kind of get drops that of like shards that you can use to buy things, and like other, like, you know, other little items. So I assume it like increases some kind of drop rate, but I'm not sure. This guy's very relatable. I definitely am driven by the next good thing I'm gonna eat. And just kind of like something like a Yakuza or something similar that kind of tries to represent a bunch of local flavor. You can go to a bunch of these shops. Most of them are just basically food stands, but you kind of get like a representation of the local flavor, literally.
That's good. It's neat.
Yeah, and then you can kind of, I'm gonna go through this real quick. And let's, you know, you get kind of like shots of all the local delicacies, and they give you
really cool.
a little bit of buffs, so you're kind of encouraged to go through and eat them. And as you eat, like, you'll level up your friendship with your different, you know, familiars, and then build your way towards a new event that'll, like this one, that'll unlock new moves. This is fairly early in the game. We'll go to a later save where I got a couple more familiars after this.
Okay.
But right now, let's do the Guardian quest. I believe it's in here. Yep. Just to get a taste of the combat. Alright, so, you know, we got our spiritual form. There's Leo. He's our little baby over there. Right now, the square button just does a bunch of different, you know, regular melee attacks. You can see...
That's a wide arc on that.
Yeah. They're pretty generous about, you know, how you can hit people with. And then the triangle button here will do our strong attacks. The attacks will be different depending on what move you precede it with.
Okay.
So if I do like 3, I can do one of those, or if I do 4, you know, it changes to a flurry of attack. It's not too unlike the way like Dynasty Warriors handles it. And in general, the
Okay.
combat kind of feels like one of those. Like very much focused on,
Yeah.
you know, managing crowds and things like that. And then you can
I suppose.
use assists basically for each of your familiars. So you'll see Leo will come out in his full human form to do different attacks. Those also vary depending on what move I precede them with, and then they'll have different effects. So you can also see these bigger enemies. Sometimes they'll have like a gray bar beneath them, and that's kind of their armor, and that'll let them kind of just armor through some of your moves. You want to be careful to either try to break their armor by using like attacks like Leo's, or you can go through their armor sometimes if you got a different character. Okay, looks like we're gonna have to go to get a key for this gate. And then there's these different gates here that are familiar specific. Oops, looks like I ran out of energy. Let's get a little bit more. So yeah, that's the basic flow of the game is kind of like managing those enemies, trying to keep your combo really high, because as you keep the combo high, it, you know, gives you a couple different bonuses to drops and things like that. Like makes it easier to build up
Alright.
meter.
So, I said earlier, so like, are there some enemies you can juggle as well?
Yeah, you can juggle pretty much any enemy,
Oh wow.
except for the armored ones, but those are only invulnerable to juggles until you break their armor. So that's like another good reason to break their armor, because that'll allow you to, you know, get them in the juggle and basically keep them in a state where they can't really do anything to you. And then obviously as you're juggling people, you're off the ground, which makes it hard for other enemies to attack you. In addition, they have like also this dodge system that you see me doing here. And if you time it just right, just like that, you'll go into, you know, just dodge. Which is, you know,
Nice.
basically witch time. It's a little different in that it's not like as central of a mechanic. You see the just dodge timer there.
Yeah, it seems to be on a meter.
Yeah. So basically after you do it, there's a cooldown before you can do it again. But you
Seems to
can't.
last a while though.
Yeah. It lasts quite a while, you know, to balance that out. And you can also increase it and increase the time it lasts and decrease the time it takes to recharge. And then in addition to kind of, you know, all that stuff that you're already juggling, there is also like a super form. Basically, as you use your familiars, they'll fill up that bar, which is, if you see the little flames coming from the character's hair on the top
Oh,
left,
wow.
that's actually a different
pretty
meter, which will give you access to like a super form once it's filled up. So you want to constantly be, you know, keeping that combo up to build up that meter. And then the combo,
It seems to fill quite slowly.
yeah. It gets faster as you level up stuff.
Okay.
I'll show you once I get to the later save. And then it definitely is easier to fill up with more familiars, because basically it's filled up by using familiar attacks a lot. Right now I only have the one basic one. But in my current save, I am up to 3 different characters, and each of them has different situational moves that you can do, like say if you're in the air or whatever, which is what we're going to unlock right now. So yeah, it's basically just trying to kind of use your entire moveset. Oops. Okay. Break his guard here. Now you can see that his guard broken. We can now juggle him. A cool thing about the dodge system is that it works a little bit like the dodge in like later, some of the later Musou games. And it doesn't require meter, but in like some of the later ones, you can kind of extend a combo by pressing the dash button. And you can kind of do a similar thing here where it just kind of cancels out your recovery, a lot of your recovery. So it can be a little bit slow if you're just kind of mashing the button. Like it'll take a really long time to finish cooling down. But if you just hit the... If you do something like, say, just to show you, one of these drops, you can say it takes me a long time to recover, but I can just kind of dash pretty quickly out of it when I land to kind of cancel the recovery animation. So it also encourages you in that way to kind of like be constantly moving. And then these bigger enemies, you can kind of just wail on them once you break their guard. So there's a lot of cool dynamics. The overall combat is kind of a little bit repetitive, but
it does look a bit.
Yeah, you know, it's very Musou in that way. Of you have to be on board.
I haven't played Musou in a while.
Yeah, you have to kind of be on board with just the satisfaction of the combat and like beating up a ton of different enemies. But it gives you, yeah, but it gives you a lot to balance. Let's see, there we go. So, you know, we get a different outfit, and then we get much stronger attacks.
And some Sentai-sounding theme song.
And then we can also spend all of our bar to do pretty high damage attacks when they're filled up. In this mode, you'll also, like, your moves will fill up really fast. You can kind of see that my meter just, like, returned real quickly. But yeah, each of the familiars and stuff has their own different sort of like finisher move that you can pull off when you have the whole bar. And those can be good for, like, as you saw right there, like that like basically instantly broke his guard. And then as you level up, you know, you kind of get more access to different moves and things like that. And it gets, you know, a little bit more complicated. And there we go. So now we got the new move that'll allow us to basically use Leo from the air.
Neat. A.
Yeah.
Is it S ranks in this game?
There are S ranks in this game, and they usually give you one of those Dragon Vein stones. You can basically just get them by doing missions pretty fast and not getting hit. So that's kind of like a incentive to not just button mash through everything. So let's go to a later save. We'll button through all this stuff. Any questions you have about this game, Sam? Or any comments?
It's hard to, like, because it so much of this game like seems to come a lot from, like, inspiration from other sources.
Yeah.
And it's hard, like, so, like, in my mind I just kind of like, well, yeah, that's that. Like, that's the video game thing.
Yeah.
That's the...
You can definitely see some of its Musou. You can see, like, a little bit of the kind of Yakuza local flavor. And it wears the inspirations on its sleeve as well. Yeah, most definitely. There's a little bit of Persona in its presentation. Another cool thing is that there's kind of a lot of, well, not a lot, but there's a decent amount of outfits that you can change your characters between. They all work at a convenience store, which is your base of operations. So all of them have convenience store uniforms. But you could also just, you know, there's like different fashion ones. Just casual. School uniforms. Alternate color schemes. And then also, if you unlock them. Oh my god. You can, you know, put them all in Power Rangers outfits. You can you know, you can get mask on or off too. Let's leave them. Let's leave our friends in Power Rangers outfits.
You got your Sentai team.
And you know, they'll show up in the world. However you dress them. So just make a team of Sentai. Let's see. Alright, let's find out what our next mission is. And we can take a look at the different shops and things. A lot of these are real actual shops.
Oh, that's really cool.
So, sort of like Yakuza, they went out and, you know, got permission to kind of recreate a lot of these storefronts. This is our airheaded friend. She constantly forgets her wallet, and we have to show up and pay for her food.
It's like this. I know people like that.
Yeah. This is a tiny girl who showed up in Ximending and basically just like was causing trouble. And we had to go kind of, you know, follow her and bring her in. Because she was, you know, just wanted to play, but she did it a little mischievously. Alright. So a lot of a lot of the things that I enjoy about this game is just kind of the atmosphere of being in the different shops and things like that.
Yeah. This is very much the composition of this shot is very Persona.
Yeah, it is definitely like a Persona hangout scene, you know.
But there's less. I imagine there's less pressure because there's no like overarching time, which is like my. It's the unique, interesting thing about Persona, but it's also like I don't feel like I took in a lot of like the kind of specific vibes of Persona 5.
Yeah.
And I think this seems a bit better about that.
Yeah, this is chapter based, so every mission is like a chapter. And then as you go through each chapter, you talk to different people, which unlocks different stores and things like that. So it gives you a little. It starts off pretty small, but then you get a lot more access to parts of the world as you go on. It's mostly the same map, so you'll have a lot of time to take in the scenery. And there's no like, you know, daily routine or anything you have to do. Like, despite you working at a convenience store, there's no part where you like are forced to go to a convenience store and work.
If this was Yakuza, there would be a minigame for that.
Yeah, absolutely, there definitely would be. This is a little bit smaller in scope, so you'll see a lot less minigames, if any. There is a gacha machines, though.
Okay.
Where you can get different gallery art and outfits.
Ooh.
I definitely stayed. I definitely stayed in front of a gacha machine for like 5 minutes trying to get all the Power Rangers outfits.
There's one of those in Judgment, but it's like tiny things to decorate the office with. So I just stood in one for a while.
Carrying on the tradition of Shenmue. This is our boss, by the way. She's a tough old lady who also looks like a
this is
miniature
very
bear.
Sentai.
Yeah. There's also some kids, some brothers from Egypt, whose mom is from here, and they came to visit, but all of the brothers got lost, and you have to basically find them in the crowd, and they're all just basically doing Sentai poses. And when you bring them all together, they all do a Sentai pose together. Some of the side missions are pretty good. It's just like little things like that, which is mostly just like looking around the world to get you to engage with it. But some of them were pretty funny.
It throws me off a little that like the character portraits aren't also Sentai, but I can assume which one is which from the colors.
Yeah. Alright. There's definitely a lot of dialogue in this game.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just go through this really fast.
Is the blue guy got like a skull with bat wings necklace?
Yes, he's a bat. He's a fruit bat. He gets sleepy in the daytime. He's a vegetarian, and he finds the foods that humans eat terrifying sometimes. And
he made me think of Avenged Sevenfold.
Yeah. The personalities of your partners are very funny too. Okay, dimensional fissure. Where are we going? Guess this is the one. And we have just enough shards to get in there. So let's find out what's happening here. There's been a couple of weird things where they have you do like puzzles or some platforming things as this game goes on. One thing that I wish you could do is just kind of skip all the dialogue. Especially when I replaying a mission.
Is there no button to just like zoom through dialogue?
No.
Oh, that's a shame.
So now you can see I've got 3 different characters. Did I put the right one? Oh, looks like I can't break it. Gonna have to beat these guys up first.
Oh, is that so? You can't break it until you beat the.
Usually you can just break it, but it looks like something's happening with us. Certain mission. So we got a couple different ones. Oh man, Bahei over here is our bat guy, and Power Ranger. He's got a scythe.
The Blue Ranger.
The Blue Ranger. Look at this. He has this very
Billy.
That's just a propeller from Devil May Cry. I think it's called.
Nice.
He's a good long range attacks. It'll prevent basically that armor from recharging on a lot of characters, and he can hit a bunch of groups. Leo's our big damage dealer, and then we also have the long range guns with I forgot what her name is. But she can hit people from long range, and also do one of these when you use her special. So there's a lot of dynamics to juggle as you go on to the game.
Yeah, I feel like now that I'm actually seeing a lot more of the parts of what this game has, it seems to come together a lot more.
Yeah. It starts off pretty slow, but that feels kind of in line with its JRPG inspirations.
I feel like good ones don't necessarily start like feeling slow though.
Yeah. I mean, it's less like you don't do anything for 1 hour, and more like they don't introduce as many of the elements. Because this is maybe like 6 hours in where I am right now.
And to be fair, like throwing all these guys at you at once would probably be a little much.
Yeah. But yeah, as you go on, you get more access to different moves. Your combo strings get longer.
Yeah, and your timer is going up a lot faster as well.
Yep. The speed of the game, the pace of the game, increases significantly, which has made it really fun. And then you just kind of get more variety with all these different moves too. And then they'll start throwing in like new enemies that'll, require you to do different considerations. Overall, the combat's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, like it looks like easy to like understand how it works. It could just be. It's like sometimes it's just fun to have like this kind of game where you just destroy a bunch of enemies.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of one of the strengths of this game specifically that I've been enjoying a lot. Like if you play Yakuza, you know how kind of easy it is to go from the conversations and exploring the world to just kind of breaking that up by random fights.
Yeah.
And the game has been so far paced well enough that it's kind of done that for me. Like I've enjoyed the character moments of exploring the world and things like that. And then, once I get kind of tired of that, I can always do some combat. So these characters here have like a lot of armor, and if I don't want to deal with that, I can kind of just bring her out to do damage through their armor. So you kind of got that tactical consideration of how you want to, use your meter. And it builds up so fast.
Yeah.
That you're kind of never really, star for, you know, star for your abilities. It really encourages you to use them a lot, and kind of rewards you for continuing to do so. Because, you know, as your combo goes up, you can see over there, it's giving me more HP drops, more special power drops, more of like the, you know, super form drops. So you basically just keep building momentum as
I'm trying to think of... There was a game I did play that did something similar. Probably Muso game.
Probably, yeah. But yeah, that's mostly this game. It's pretty cool. I'm enjoying the combat a lot, and it's just kind of, it's like one of those really easy to digest games, which can get harder if you want it to be, but starts off kind of like, you know, a little relaxed, and the novelty of kind of getting this kind of treatment, but for like a Taiwanese city, is really cool.
Yeah. It's really cool to see like just more neat things from other sources.
Yeah, like you can definitely see the inspirations, but it's fun to see those dynamics kind of employed on a smaller scale, and then also, you know, applied to a new location. Alright, trigger the switches. Let's hit these. Did I miss?
Music seems to have stopped as well.
Yeah, what happened? Ah. Oops. I think I was just using the wrong character. No? Huh. This is new.
Maybe it's switches.
Maybe we gotta try this one. Okay, so it was just Leo that was blocked for some reason. For story. For story reasons. Okay. Usually you kind of just get up enough energy for these areas just by kind of hitting enemies. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why.
Yeah,
it's
he's
just
not
him.
doing so well.
It's just him. He's having a hard day.
Yeah. He's angry.
Yeah, he's not feeling it. Let's go up here. No? Okay. Yeah, and then on occasion it'll kind of break up the areas by doing things like this and forcing you to kind of navigation puzzles and things like this. It does kind of reuse a lot of the area. Like this parking lot up here is definitely an area that I've been before.
Okay.
But that's kind of going with, you know, that theme of this being an alternate version of the real world.
Yeah, and I think it also just being like a smaller scale development as well.
Yeah, like you definitely feel. Whoop. You definitely feel the limits of kind of what they had to work with. But for the scale that it's working on, it's, you know, it's pretty impressive what they've kind of been able to get out of it. All right. I don't think we really need to finish this mission. I think we kind of got the idea of where this is going. There are some pretty interesting boss fights in the game, but I'll kind of leave those.
Okay.
Each of these characters that you get, aside from Leo, you fight them in a boss fight beforehand, and those are kind of the highlight.
Oh, cool.
Those are kind of like a cool highlight to the game, but you know, they're mostly just dodging your different patterns.
Yeah, I just think as well, just like,
Oops.
Does this game like hold a lot more surprises to it, really?
I'm not sure. I wouldn't say that it's a game that has like a lot of surprises. You kind of know what you're getting on its face. It just kind of starts introducing more and more wrinkles to that.
Okay.
So far the story hasn't been like, you know, incredibly deep or anything like that. It's kind of exactly what you think the plot's gonna be. It's more kind of just enjoying the location and the characters. It's definitely not a game that's like gonna be like have some. Well, I could be wrong, but I don't feel like it's something that's gonna have like an nth hour twist.
You never know.
Yeah, but you never know, right? But yeah, it's definitely been just kind of fun to like slowly burn through it and see the different new mechanics and wrinkles that it introduces, and how that kind of changes the dynamic of how you usually hit things. It's a good one of those if you want one of those. Any questions before we get out of here?
I just want to give another shout out to this Sentai Shonen ass music for the special form.
Yeah, it's really good. Some of the music tracks in this game are really great. I've kind of just enjoyed running around the world and listening to them.
That's a sign of a good soundtrack there.
Yeah, and there's it's the one time that I've like wanted to unlock songs in the gallery to be like, yeah, I need to hear this.
Just remembering pre-YouTube having every video game soundtrack near enough. Just like going into a game and just playing a level because it had the music I liked.
Oh yeah, I definitely spent a lot of time in like game sound tests.
Absolutely.
Just like listening
Bring
to
back
it
the
on my
sound
TV.
test.
Yeah, bring back the sound test. This game's got one.
I want to hear every single grunt and like enemy noise in a menu. There's probably too many of those these days.
Yeah, that's probably why. But you know what? Soul Calibur 2 did it.
Oh shit, it did.
All right. But yeah, I think that's enough for this so far. If you want to go dress up your animal friends in Sentai outfits and explore a city in Taiwan, this is Dusk Diver, and it'll let you do that. Thanks for joining me again, Sam.
Thanks for having me along.
Until next time.
See ya.